Oh, hi there, chat.
We
How you?
apologize in advance for all the B jokes you're gonna hear. I'm just saying it right now, okay? We
Yep.
know we're getting into. We won't review this. We
Mm-hmm.
just saying at the top, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying it at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to know what I think of the Superman trailer, yeah, you'll sit through those stupid jokes.
I feel like I should have brought just like a little bourbon or whiskey, and like every time y'all make me sit through another B pun or another B movie joke, I'd have to just take a sip.
I was gonna say we both be dead if we were doing that, man. I mean,
That's
I
true.
know we both have high tolerances, but that would kill us
Yeah.
definitely.
You're right. You're right. When you're right, Doug. All right. I'll let you win on that one.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
But yes, everyone, welcome to Chatting with Doug live on Twitch and YouTube almost every Wednesday evening. I'm your host, Heather, and this is that guy with the glasses who doesn't have glasses anymore. Welcome.
Or do I? No.
I was gonna be like, man, if you randomly did have glasses somewhere, I was gonna be
Somehow.
very impressed.
I used to have blue light glasses. I don't have those anymore, though. My eyes. I take liquid IV now. That makes it so they don't dry out that much.
Nice. So I'm gonna get to the rules here so that we can start answering your questions, because I see we already have a whole bunch of questions lined up and ready for Doug over here. So first and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages and super chats, since that is some real world money spent. Towards the end of stream, sometimes we have time for highlighted questions on Twitch or regular chat questions on YouTube and Twitch. But don't ask them now, because I won't be able to scroll back up 2 hours and check out your questions. Save those for the end of stream. Last week we had almost 20 minutes.
Yeah, we did. That was actually kind of nice.
Yeah, it was so nice. It was so nice. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that. On the YouTube side of things, we prioritize super chats that are $5 and over. We, of course, appreciate the support, but we do have such a large volume of questions. That's just the way that we're able to prioritize and still get through all those questions and have time for some of the chat questions, non-paid questions as well. If we have time, we'll go back and answer the questions that are under $5, but we prioritize $5 and over. Please watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster we have to read it, the more likely you are going to miss something and we do not have time to repeat it. That also includes parts. If you absolutely must break up your message into multiple parts, keep it to 3 maximum. 3 max. Again, we just tend to lose the point and we don't have time to go back and figure out what you're talking about in 12 and how it relates to 7 and all this jazz. I just lost my train of thought, Doug. I'm gonna blame.
I was gonna say, but I've never heard anything that began with "we."
Yeah.
No spoilers. How about that?
Yeah. But I remembered what I was gonna say. Okay. Please keep it also to 1 question per super chat or bit message. It just doesn't feel fair when we have like 100 people here who want to ask questions and you get to ask 5. Okay. So keep it to 1 question per bit message or super chat, please. No spoilers, please. Not everyone has had a chance to watch all of the episodes of Andor that dropped last night. I completely forgot that a new episode of Last of Us dropped on Mother's Day on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, they did come out Tuesday.
Yeah, so I haven't watched the Last of Us episode. I know Marvel is still out here spoiling Thunderbolts already, but give people a chance, all right? Just no spoilers. Don't be that person. All right? Doug, no swearing.
That's right.
On the YouTube side of things, sometimes people don't realize this. If your message unpins from the top, your super chat unpins, don't worry. We have a list. What we really need from y'all is just some patience. There is a list. We will get to your question. It is very rare that we actually miss a super chat. A lot of times you just gotta have some patience. We can get up to an hour or more behind. Okay? Great. Now I feel like I got everything.
We ready? Yes. Good. On we go.
Fantastic. Noff Noff, thank you for the 500 bits. To Heather, totes love seeing emo slash alternative Heather on the NC review, and may I say, she behaves quite alternatively for a teen. Yes, it was
Can't
like,
even get one by. Well,
No.
not even one.
first one has to be a B pun, and it's definitely a direct attack against me. So no, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Noff Noff. Dragon's Toy, thank you for the 61-month subscription. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Hello, lovely people. Just wanted to say, Doug, it was very sweet of you to let Heather write her own lines for the B-movie review. It was very me in 2010 emo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she just had that shirt already. I'm like, just
I did.
find emo clothes, and she's like, "Oh, I can emo."
I was like, oh yeah, no, it's okay. I got it. It was so on brand for Heather. It was a lot of fun. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. The Cartoon Network series Mad once did a parody of B-movie that made fun of all the pointless puns. One character even says, "You don't see me dropping the word human into every other sentence."
I've seen one or two of the little sections of that Mad cartoon show, and it was cute. It definitely seemed more kid focused, but I remember it being all right for what it was.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the Superman trailer? I think it looks great and really gets the fun and spirit of the character, and I can't wait to see a movie on the big screen starring my favorite superhero.
Yeah, boy, it looks like a good IMAX movie, doesn't it? I was glad this time. Excuse me, I got a lot of stuff in my chest here. I was really glad to see more of the performances this time, which, first one's a teaser. You're not going to see that much acting or anything. But,
right.
And the two, I was really happy to see, okay, like this it looks like they're going to do good. Is Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and, what's her name? Rebecca, Miss Maisel. Sorry.
Yeah, I always just call her Miss Maisel.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Because both of them I knew were good. Perfect choices, but it was one of those where I know they can both go really big. And they're always in projects where they need to go really big, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I haven't seen them like super subtle and stuff, and I didn't know if they were going to utilize too much of the bigness in. I shouldn't say I've seen them subtle and stuff, but I've seen them more big, and I was concerned there was going to be too much of a focus on that, and they both seem great. They both, like, especially, talk about instant chemistry between her and the guy playing Superman. Just as soon as they sit down and she's like, Superman just goes, Lois. I'm like, that was pretty hot. Like, they just had instant chemistry. So yeah, it looks good. I'm not at a point yet where I'm like, oh my God, I gotta rush out right now. Like, some people, like, their hearts just stop when seeing the trailers or teasers for this. And I'm like, it looks good. Maybe that'll happen when I see the movie. I am very curious to see what Gunn does with this, because he's done a very non-traditional superhero movie with it's almost an anti-superhero movie. Something kind of in the middle with the Guardians movies, and the Suicide Squad. And now he's doing, like, Superman, like the superhero. So I'm really curious to see what he brings to it.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. As fun as Alan Cumming was as Floop in Spy Kids, part of me wonders if Martin Short may have been the better first choice.
Short would have been fine. Short has to be in the absolute perfect thing, because if not, and you could argue this is kind of the charm of him, if he's not, something's always off in a weird way that's hard to explain, and sometimes there's a real charm to that, definitely. But Cumming, I felt like, just so very naturally became that kid. He's a very good actor. He actually, he can play Shakespeare, he can do kids film, he can do tons of accents. So yeah, he's very, very talented. But yeah, I think Short could have worked okay. Could have worked pretty similar, but I think Cumming just adds that extra little, I don't know. Cumming has a good, like, bite to his performances. And Short can, but again, you have to kind of put him in the right project.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who has the best quotes? MCU Thanos or Apocalypse from the animated X-Men?
Oh, Thanos. And I do like Apocalypse from the anime one, but But he is kind of, and that's kind of the idea. He is kind of one note. He does think himself a god and everything. Where Thanos, Thanos is the thinking man's god. You know what I mean? Like, he's
Yeah.
the thinking man's tyrant. And everything he talks about, yeah, you disagree, but you can tell he's putting thought into it. Like, he's having a lot of emotional stuff going on. Where with Apocalypse, and I know again this is by design, he's like emotionless practically. He's been around for so long. It's like he's eradicated emotion, which I get, but Thanos is going to be more interesting to me with that.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the Final Destination series? And do you plan to see the new one coming out Friday?
Maybe I missed like a big rite of passage or something like that because I saw the first film, I liked it. I saw the second film, I don't remember liking it, but I remember liking certain moments, and they're all the moments you like. They're all the deaths, obviously. And I never saw any of them after that. And apparently, there's just this, as we're seeing, this huge, huge following. Um, but I'm not a huge. I know they're not technically slasher films, but they kind of are. Fate is the slasher. You know what I mean? It's done kind of in the same style as a slasher film. So, I never really got that into it. I always need something a little different to really pull me into those kind of movies. But maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I sit down and watch them all. I'd be like, holy smokes, these are great. But I'm really liking the first one okay. And I hear the new one's supposed to be really good. So that's really cool.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm surprised B movie doesn't end with a post credits stinger.
Only two so far. What, 15 minutes in? We've only had two.
I just did a boo on my sound deck too.
Mm.
Nerdy, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, I know you already did a Disney December on this, but NC review on John Carter?
Nobody's gonna click on that. I don't even think anyone clicked on the Disney December one. I feel bad because I actually like the movie fine. For like one of the most expensive films ever made by Disney. That's weird, but I thought it was a cute, fun little adventure. I don't know anything about the books either, but I thought it was fun. I don't think I'm gonna get too much of an NC review. Like I said, I saw it once. I enjoyed it. I don't need to see it again.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on Goldfinger? Even though I like the first half more than the second half, it's still my favorite James Bond movie.
I'm really liking it. So I will admit, because I think I've seen all the James Bond. I've definitely seen most of them. But most of them I've seen just once. I haven't watched that many a couple times. If they're on TV, I'll watch them. But so a lot of them do kind of blend together a little bit. And so I remember liking Goldfinger. I remember there being a lot of memorable scenes and everything. Obviously, Goldfinger himself is very memorable. But in terms of so which stunt was that? Which one had that line? Which one had, this Bond lady and stuff like that? So I'm not the best at remembering which ones had certain moments. But I remember liking him. I think just about all the Sean Connery ones, except the one where he came back years later, I remember liking.
Crunch Along, thank you for the $5 super chat. The director of Thunderbolts might direct the MCU's X-Men reboot. Thoughts?
It wouldn't be my first choice, but again, I'm just going off of one movie. I mean, the guy who did, Gem and the Holograms, like he's gone on to direct, all sorts of movies. The guy who directed, was it that live action Death Note? He's doing the Godzilla versus Kong movies. I mean, so it's like, that doesn't mean, well, that's a reflection of who this director is. No. And like I said, Thunderbolts, I think, I go back and forth between, working and not working, but when it worked, there's a lot of good stuff. So, we'll see. I'm hoping to see more color in X-Men. That's the thing I really feel like is kind of lacking today, that I like to see him really go full force into. And Thunderbolts is not colorful. So I hope if he does that, he does have a heavy lean, or at least Marvel lets him have a heavy lean towards some really cool colors there.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Heather and brave Sir Douglas. How does it feel to have the first American Pope also be from Chicago? It feels great, let me tell you, as a Chicago Catholic. Oh, man. I even, it's just been fun even to just walk around and be like, I wonder if the Pope has ever done this. Even today I was talking about something about how I'm Midwest cheap. I am Chicago Midwest cheap. And then I was like, man, I wonder if the Pope is Midwest cheap.
He just keeps giving it all to the poor. Yeah. No, my favorite was, what was it? It was the Pope's new incarnation of the body of Christ. It was a Lou Malnati's pizza. There's a lot of memes that have been going around. I'm like, no, these are funny. These are pretty funny.
I
Yeah,
Sorry.
no,
I think one
go
of
ahead.
my favorite little things is there's a pizza chain around here called Aurelio's, and they have
I was
trademarked
frozen
pepperoni.
today.
That's good. That's pretty good. Pretty
Hilarious.
smart. They got on that quick. They got on that quick. Um, yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, all things, Chicago, awesome. I just hope he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
Chicago doesn't have a history of corruption or anything like that at all. So,
No. No.
hopefully he's good.
Ymir, thank you for the $7 super chat. Hey Doug, just watched your
I was
updated worst
frozen
movies of all
today.
time list. Was genuinely surprised to not see Disaster Movie.
um, I don't know. The ones I put on there have to like hurt me in some way. You know what I mean? Disaster movie. I knew what I was gonna get. It was stupid. It was dumb. But it gave me exactly what I thought it was gonna be. I mean, I never had any doubt I was gonna get anything else. So I guess I couldn't be like that disappointed. Like a bad movie has to be bad. That also has to kind of surprise me in certain ways. Like, whoa, I didn't know I could see that kind of bad. So yeah, and it didn't do that. It just gave me the exact schlock I was expecting.
Too bad Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Which movie is worse, Kick-Assia or To Boldly Flee?
Well, if you're going by public opinion, to Boldly Flee, it's funny because when I wrote those, I wrote one that was a little bit more, I don't want to say abstract with the commentary, but not as direct. And then with Suburban Nights, it was kind of half and half, and then to Bully Flee, it was much more direct with the commentary. And I'm like, one of these is going to age better, and I don't know which one, but I'm glad I tried both. And right now, Kick-Ass seems to be the one that people like, because there is no one direct thing you can connect it to, but I think people can see just the stupid things that people fight for and go to war for. I mean, just like in history and stuff and what people fight for. And, they can get a good chuckle out of that. Just the fact that that is a real place, Wallachia, it just makes it even funnier. And thank God he had such a good sense of humor, because he was very, very nice.
Movie Lover, thank you for that 3-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Hello, Doug. So I was watching your top 10 worst movies video, and all I gotta say is thank God I wasn't born a month late, because my birthday would have been the exact day the Cat in the Hat movie came out.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's always funny when that stuff happens. What was it? We were so excited because I think was it some movie was coming out. Now I can't remember if I was getting married or if Rob was getting married, but the movie Brave was coming out, and we were just like, "Oh, that's cool!" Getting married on the same day that a movie called Brave is coming out, and then it got pushed back or something. It was something like Attaboy or Transformers or something that came out. Just nothing nearly as fun. So yeah, there is something funny about movies that come out tied into big days in your life.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. You had Chris Rock voicing a mosquito talking about being slapped, and you did absolutely nothing with it? Relinquish your critic card until you funny better.
Boy, I don't remember the slap. You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Here, let me get the card out here. There you go. You can have that right there.
Fantastic. Wow. Thanks, Doug. Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which Pixar movie has the most appealing visuals? I like the colors and style of the movie Soul.
Soul's pretty good. Coco is still pretty unbelievable. Yeah, that might be it. Oh, no. Encanto's pretty great.
I like Luca, too. Luca's gorgeous.
Luca's really good. But man, just in terms of when I think visuals just leaping off the screen at you, yeah, it's either Coco or Encanto. It's a toss-up between those two for me.
Jamie, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the Knuckles TV show? People either love or hate it, but I personally loved it.
No, I haven't. I don't have Paramount Plus. I'm curious. I'm not die-hard excited to see. I wasn't demanding, a Knuckles TV show, especially in the real world. But if there's ever some opportunity presents itself, hey, whatever, it's on Blu-ray or something like that, I'll probably give it a watch. But yeah, I'm not in a hurry or anything.
JL, thank you the 500 bits. If you could, Would you ever watch the original Quantum Leap?
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes. I remember liking it. I actually got the whole collection for my dad. It was because he never tells us what he wants. He's always like, "Surprise me." It's like, well, I don't know. I got you every Doom book. So I'm just like, I don't know, the complete Quantum Leap. Let's try that. And he really liked him. So yeah, so I do have access to it. I have to, borrow it from him. But yeah, one of these days, I know it's a lot of episodes. So
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. When you have a video demonetized for guideline issues, does YouTube ever tell you what specifically?
nope. You just have to get. I take it back. Once in a while, we will email and say, "Hey, what's the issue here?" Because I do remember we heard back for Hunchback, because we're like, "What the?" Especially with Hunchback, it's like, I mean, it can kind of be. It shouldn't be anything, but it could be anything, because they're talking about the church and everything, and lust and all these different things, creepy imagery. And it turns out there was a scene where like Hartman, I can't remember. I think like something where he looks at Quasimodo as a baby, and it's like the voice of Carmen. He says all these swear words, something like that. And it was just too many swear words close together. So we're like, all right, well, just cut that joke. And, that was it. Suddenly it was allowed, which is silly, but at least they got back to us on that one. Yeah, a whole bunch of them. We don't know. I mean, with the Tarzan one, we're just assuming with the re-upload where the villain dies, we're just assuming that's it because we put a little thing that says, hey, we think this is why it was demonetized before. That was covering up the shadow of him dead. And it never got hit. So we think that's it. But yeah, we don't know.
Internet Tube, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, is Better Call Saul still better than Breaking Bad? And what would NC think of how an obvious scam like Saul Goodman?
That's right. I like Better Call Saul better. But in terms of, is it a better show? That I don't know, because Breaking Bad was the first to do a lot of this stuff. It is still a very interesting character study. I mean, just the style of it alone and what they're saying with a lot of the visuals is all very, very fascinating, and the pacing. So I don't know. Breaking Bad is probably a better show, but Better Call Saul is much more interesting to me because I like those characters more.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen Desperado? Possible NC?
Yeah. Oh, I love Desperado, man. Yeah. And Once Upon a Time in Mexico and El Mariachi. Yeah, all of them are awesome. Maybe that's another one of those where it's hard to review it without showing the violence, and some of the violence does get very gory. Yeah, I don't know. If I did, I'd have to do like maybe all the movies together, like a compilation. That'd be kind of fun. But no, I think that was my first Rodriguez movie actually. And just immediately the style, I'm like, what is this? I think so. They were talking about this on Joe Rogan. He might have been the guy that invented the walking away from the explosion in slow mo. Because when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't remember ever seeing that beforehand. I remember seeing it all over the trailers. And I was like, that is awesome. So yeah, might be the one.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, saw Thunderbolts and I loved it. Taking a page from your Lilo and Stitch review, whoever wrote this either has or understands mental health.
I guess I think I gotta see it again because, not to say I didn't get what they were doing. Maybe because it was done backwards and a little choppy. I just did not fully get that with the Bob character. Everyone else I followed, I got and everything. But just with the Bob character, who I thought really took up the last third of the movie, I just didn't fully follow. Like, oh yeah, this is something Bob would say. This is something Bob would do. You know what I mean? It just went back and forth. He changed his mind so much. But again, some people say that's the idea. So I gotta see it again. But I guess with that said, no matter what I think, the fact that people are like, yes, I see this, I recognize it, this captures it good. It's like, good. People should have an understanding of that. Certainly, it should be, there definitely should be awareness about it.
Case, thank you for the $20 super chat, and this is part 1 of 2. Happy birthday, George Lucas. Even as an unapologetic prequel fan, I agree 100% that Attack of the Clones is the weakest. First half is mostly unorganized filler that lacks excitement, unlike the other two. So this is part 1, to be continued.
Okay.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good evening, guys. So, Doug, based on tonight's review, will we see an NC on Ants?
Probably. I was very surprised. I saw a lot of critics and audiences didn't like that. I'm like, really? I thought that was like a pretty well respected movie. Like, not great, but I thought people liked it. So I do kind of want to look at it again and say maybe I'll change my mind on it because I was just like, I remember this being all right.
Edge, thank you for the 119 NOK through Super Chat. All animal movies are always humans can't understand animals, but animals can understand humans. Barnyard and Bee Movie are the only movies where they can talk to humans.
I always wondered in Tarzan, I forget if I brought this up in the review, but when Tarzan's saying his name to Jane, Tarzan, Tarzan, it's like, but they have different languages. So what is Tarzan an ape? Would it be ooh, 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 something like that? Or maybe that's it. Maybe it's showing the translation. Maybe she's going ooh, ooh, ooh for all we know. I don't know. But yeah, actually, I never thought of that. Oh shoot, maybe that scene is smart. I never actually thought about that. But yeah, so I'll shut up. Anyway, yes, good point.
Matt, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Question for both. What's the worst anime that you've ever seen? Ooh, the worst anime.
I mean, I try to avoid them. That's the thing.
Right.
Uh,
yeah,
oh,
exactly. I don't have time to watch bad anime.
yeah, because there's so much good anime. Honestly, I will say there's something to. Anytime I say this is an anime as much as a style, I don't like the anime style where they're CG and they still have the same, but they're trying to make it look like it's hand drawn. Like maybe once or twice that can work. I don't even know if I've seen it work in anime. Maybe it has, and I'm just not remembering it. But anytime I see that done, I'm like, oh, that is just. Every time I see it, it feels like a slap in the face because the anime style is just so gorgeous and just so embraces the drawn line and has such respect for the drawn line that to see it go that route, to be like, no, this is the drawn line. This is how it works. I hate it when I see that.
Prowl, thank you for the $10 Super Chat. Have you seen the Green Eggs and Ham series on Netflix yet? It's actually a really good cartoon based on the book, something Seuss would probably be happy with.
That's what I hear. I haven't seen it. I have so many other things to catch up on. It is one of those I have on the list, but I mean, I don't know when I'm going to get to it. But yes, I have heard it's really good, and I am really curious to see something that finally, I mean, granted, it's a show, but it is finally like a respectful adaptation of his stuff without being a live action movie or having like too many in jokes or anything like that. I've heard that. I've heard it's good.
Nate, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. For Nostalgiaween this year, any chance of doing an NC on Corpse Bride, which turns 20 this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Proposal for a YouTube short. A compilation of the top 9 random sounds replaced in the Craven NC, like the Godzilla roar and the Goofy yell.
Oh, it's kind of a funny idea. Yeah, all right. Wave Flow's watching. Sometimes he puts those together. Yeah. He take a note of that. It's pretty good.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. How did you know about Princess Elise without... Oh, I bet that meant growing up. Sorry, they wrote without throwing up, and I was like, what? No, without growing up playing Sonic 06. Did you saw the new
I don't know. I think
video?
it's throwing up. I think it's throwing up. No, that's something, even if I haven't played the games, I know about that. That was all over the place. Yeah, I must have seen that footage of them winking at each other over and over. And it was one of those where I thought, like, when I first saw it, I thought they just edited 2 separate clips together. But no, it's in the game. She actually is like, it's like, oh.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the final season of Tangled, what do you think of everything having to do with Cassandra?
I really liked it. I'm trying to think. I want to say there was. I thought at the beginning of that last season, it explained a lot, but they could have spent just a hint more time on it. Like what happened. Again, I want to go into spoilers because it's a really good surprise. But what happened was made just a hint too quick, or maybe a hint too quickly explained. But yeah, I was still on board with it, and what's so funny is that I think I did see in other places, whatever videos and stuff like that. I think I did actually see that. I saw what the big reveal is, and I was just, it didn't even click because it was so out of the realm of possibility for me. So when it actually happened, I'm like, oh, Like, I love when something is just such a shocker that even when it's shown to you, you don't comprehend it. And that's what happened with me because I'm like, I do remember seeing clips of that and just not, it wasn't even registering that that was even a possibility in this.
Case, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. In my opinion, it should have started with the Jedi overseeing the production of the clones and Palpatine already having emergency powers. There's a fanscription basis for y'all.
Was that for Attack of the
Yeah,
Clones?
for
Is that
Attack of the
what?
Clones.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, maybe, man. So much of until it gets to Revenge of the Sith, I just so do not get into those other prequels. The first one at least is so bad it can be funny, but yeah, I just do not get into parts 1 and 2 like at all.
Truth, Hope, Love, thank you for the $10 super chat. You talk about Land Before Time versus Oliver and Company, but let's try something harder. If you had to choose between American Tail and Great Mouse Detective, which would you begrudgingly choose as better?
American Tail, and it is rough because I do like Great Mouse Detective. No, American Tail. I mean, Great Mouse Detective is great and has epic moments. American Tail, I just feel like the whole thing just feels epic and great. It almost is like the story of America, in a strange way. And the good and the bad, that kind of came with it. Not all of it, but hints of it. And no, yeah, that one is definitely better. But I do really like Great Mouse Detective a lot.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Salutations, Doug B. Walken and Heather Hive. May we please have a clue for next week's review?
Um, it's a Jim Carrey movie, so I can think of for a clue.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, with 20 years since Revenge of the Sith, have your thoughts changed, especially after watching Clone Wars with the context in Anakin's turn?
No, but out of the prequels, that's the one I like the most.
Mhm.
And it is the one where, again, they did. I'm not surprised it did well. It did as well as it did released on the big screen, because that is one of the best ones to see on the big screen. Whether you like the movie or not, just visually, it looks fantastic. The sound, the music, everything, it looks phenomenal. And I didn't need to see it on the big screen because I think I did see it like 2 or 3 times, and just the memories of watching it are still really ingrained in my mind. I do remember looking over, I think after that scene where Palpatine and Anakin are at the opera. After that scene ends, I looked over at Rob and I said, I think I'm liking this one. I said, is this possible? As it kept going, you see more of the flaws and everything. But yeah, I do have a real soft spot for it. Again, I can't say it works, but there's a lot of things I like in it.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, did you see the picture of Jumba from the new Lilo and Stitch? It's pretty creepy, creepier than the new Stitch and Pleakley combined.
Hold on. Hold on. Lilo, Stitch, remake. Let's see. I always forget Jumba's that's the big dude. Okay. Nah, just seeing the human. Oh, there he is. It's about what he looks like. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, just see him in the anime film. I mean, he's pretty weird looking. That's not too surprising to me.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 1 of 2. I finally got to see the Thunderbolts and I loved it. I don't mind what they did with Bob. Sorry, I'm reading ahead. I don't think this is a spoiler, so we'll keep going forward. I think that was done on purpose. He also mirrored Yelena's emotional states in the film.
Yeah, like that could be an element too, like he's taking in different, people's angst, if you will. I don't know. There's just it still didn't click with me. I will watch it again because I'll do a Disney December of it this year, with spoilers and everything. And now knowing where it's gonna go, I'll see if that makes a difference. I mean, I still don't know. I've talked with people like whatever the void is that him, or is that the power magnifying it, or is that the power creating it in him? Is it mixing? Like, what is it and stuff like that? And some people say that doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, but we got put that much focus on it. I don't know. It kind of matters. So again, I gotta see it again. Maybe I'll watch it again and be like, yeah, I see it now. Y'all are right.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you had the chance, who would you cast to play a comic accurate Doctor Doom?
Uh, I don't know the comic very well. I'm not the guy to ask. I'm sorry. I know very little about Fantastic Four. I know people love it. Um, and I guess I can recognize it when I see that's not it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, the comic accurate one. I'm not the guy to ask.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Fun fact, Kubrick had wanted Steve Martin as the lead of Eyes Wide Shut, but as he was amazed by him in The Jerk.
What? That makes no sense. Uh, hmm. I'm trying to think of him in that. I think he'd be fine. Cruz really is get not just Cruz, but Cruz with Kim, and that's terrible to say because they do split and everything, and the movie is about a couple, possibly splitting, but it really it's just so easy to believe. There's so many things in that movie where it's like, oh man, this is just so Tom Cruise, and I feel like just stuff that maybe I don't know about his personal life, but certainly like in his reputation at the time, there was certainly stuff that people would say about him and think about him and stuff like that. Where I just feel like, yeah, man, that this just kind of captures that. Sorry, my words are not good today.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 2 of 2. He seemed to be a personification of untreated mental illness and how it can not only negatively affect the individual, but everyone around them. I thought that the chaotic way it was handled was purposeful.
Yeah, no, and I like at first you don't know what's going on when people are suddenly in this dark, weird place, and then they reveal it, and that comes from him. And you're right, the way it impacts people around them without them even knowing what's going on. I thought that was very, very clever. There's a lot of stuff I really enjoy a great day. The imagery alone, I thought that last third was pretty nightmarish, like in the best way. Um, so yeah, like I said, I think I gotta watch it one more day. At the end of the year, you'll get my report if I change my mind.
Mike, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, do you think you could do another top 10 or 11 movies you'll never review? Seeing as the old list has movies you've most certainly talked about as the critic. 7 out of 11 have been reviewed.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you want to find out, just keep recommending them here. That's the best way to find out. Because there's always ones that people ask. I'm just like, probably not, but my answers are now usually kind of boring. Just, I don't think it get clicks, or I'm just not interested. Like that just be the answer to all of them. Those were more like, hey, I could talk about them, but I had a very specific reason why not, which would completely thrown out the window, as you well observed. So, yeah, probably not. But again, I said before, these are movies I never review, and I reviewed them. So when I say I'm not going to do it, I'm probably going to do it.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, what are your overall thoughts on Batman Arkham Knight and your favorite game in the trilogy?
Favorite game? Arkham Knight had some of my favorite stuff in any of the games. But man, some of the most obnoxious, annoying stuff. I mean, not just obnoxious and annoying, like, yes, but also stuff that I just thought was so obvious. Like painfully, like insultingly obvious. But with the other ones, with the second one's probably the best. Because that had like a good mix of surprises, good, combination of character, good fighting mechanics and everything. But yeah, but there's a lot of things in Night I think are done a lot better. And like I said, like sometimes got like butterflies in my say. It's probably the most invested I've been in any of the games, but maybe that's why when it doesn't stick the landing on certain things, it stands out more. So yeah, so it is close, but I would probably say the second one is my favorite, and then Night would be second.
Rich, thank you for the $5 super chat. I wanted to thank you both for being a regular part of my Wednesday every week and giving a nice break when things are super stressed in life.
That was very kind of you to say. Thank you. Thank you for being a regular part. Yeah, thank all of you. I mean, I don't know. I always say we have to, don't we? But I mean, but it really is true. We really could not do any of this without y'all watching. I mean, over, 18 years I've been doing this, and it just means the freaking world to me, man. I really hope that comes across, because it really does mean a great deal. So thank you all so much again.
Nate, thank you for the $20 super chat. Years ago, when you reviewed Jurassic Park 3, you asked, why did the Spino keep chasing the humans around the island? There's a deleted scene which answered that question. The Mercs accidentally shot its infant.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that would have been interesting to keep in there. Okay. Huh. No, they should have
Will,
kept that.
yeah. Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. I know this might be hard, Doug, but can you at least find two good things from the live action Inspector Gadget movie?
Short. Um,
It's mercifully short.
there's one bit in the end credits where they have something like henchman anonymous or something like that, and it's all these henchmen. And it's actual henchmen, but they have like Jaws from the James Bond movies and a few other ones, and I'm just like, that was a little funny. Um, yeah, outside that, I can't really think of anything. I apologize again. I keep saying it's Raja Gosnell who directed that movie, and it's not. It's the guy who did Cool as Ice, which is still not great fame. But yeah, I keep getting that wrong. I'm so sorry. Raja Gosnell, I am so sorry. Not for everything else you did that was terrible, but for that, I am sorry.
Smashley, thank you for the $10 super chat. What's your opinion of the Rankin Bass Hobbit slash Return of the King movies? Did they do anything better than the live action movies?
Oh, the Hobbit one definitely did. The Hobbit one, I think, is actually closer to the spirit of the book. Even though I do like the first Hobbit movie. But yeah, the first one I think really captures what the book is about. And again, as someone that's not read the book but knows the outline, knows the story, and knows several of the passages and stuff. Well, okay, so that's the thing, because Rob has read them all and everything, and we watched them together. I know the language enough to know, okay, this is the book, where with the Jackson one, it's very easy to tell when it's not. Even the Fellowship, Return of the King, all them, it's pretty easy to tell when it's usually not something from the book and the way they speak or what happens in there, but the still good movies. Return of the King, I never got all the way through the Rankin Bass one, just because that one is I just so don't get into that style when I think of like Frodo and Middle Earth, not Middle Earth. Again, I think of that when I think of The Hobbit. Now I think of Lord of the Rings, if that makes sense. With that said, where there's a width, there's a way is kind of a jam. It's an earworm. It's hard to get out of your head when you hear it.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Favorite episode of The Chosen so far? Mine is the season 3 finale.
Wait, let me think. I think I really like, it's gonna sound weird, just the second episode, the introduction of Jesus. The fact that they introduce him, just teaching little lessons to kids. He's a carpenter, he's teaching these lessons to kids. Just more and more kids keep coming to him because it's like, oh, this is like a cool guy. He's really nice and everything. And he just practices what he preaches. And I just thought that's so cool. The whole episode was that. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, this is going to be an interesting take on this. I thought that was very clever. And how the first episode doesn't have any of him until like literally the last second. I thought both those choices were very interesting.
Nate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Fun fact, Joe Johnston, who directed Jurassic Park 3, also directed The Rocketeer and the first MCU Captain America film.
Yeah, there's a guy, I don't know if he does videos anymore, but he's called the Royal Ocean Film Society. He did a very good video on him. And what did he say? He says, I'm not going to say this is like a great filmmaker, but he's a very efficient filmmaker. Everything's just sort of nicely packaged, just tight enough and well enough. And even if a film doesn't work, there's always something that's interesting. You're glad you saw it. And I agree. I've always had a soft spot for him. And every time I see his name, I'm like, oh, okay, like there's going to be something kind of neat. It's going to be something adventurous in this that I'm going to remember. And I always kind of look forward to that.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Speaking of Superman, are you excited for the new movie? And are you happy the new movie has the old Superman theme song?
I don't know if I want the theme song. I don't know if I want those credits. We did that in Superman Returns. Cool. Now let's do a new Superman. Because that's what it was trying to do. It was trying to be the original. Like this is years later, and it didn't work. But okay, nice effort. And I want a new Superman. Unless is it supposed to be in the same universe? I don't think it's supposed to, as the Christopher Reeve one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I see that as same thing with bringing back the X-Men for like the Avengers and stuff like that. I'm like, no, but do something new. They had their day with there's good, bad, whatever, but there we can always go back and revisit. Give some new blood, some new visuals, some new ideas. That is the one thing I'm like, and even though that theme's amazing, it's like I'm just not. It'll be cool to hear it on the big screen, but I think after that, I'm gonna be like, I want this to have its own identity. Because how can you not think back to the Christopher Reeve one when you hear that?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's my issue with it.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. I always thought that David Hyde Pierce and Kevin Kline sound alike or look alike, or maybe they're both the same person or have the same humor.
Uh, I guess there's a way they articulate the way that they speak. Actually, the more I'm doing it right now, it's hard to tell. Am I doing Kevin Kline or am I doing David Hyde Pierce? Yeah, actually, you're right. It wasn't until I did the impression that it's like, yeah, you're right. They do sound alike. But it has to be a very, very specific voice. It has to be him doing like the fish odor voice in order to sound like David Hyde Pierce. And they're both good actors. They're both very, very good.
Crunch Along, thank you for the $5.50 super chat. Since you updated your best and worst movie lists, please update your hottest women. We need to know where Rosie Cotton falls on the Zeta Jones totem.
Yeah, I would have to think about that. Yeah, again, it would have to be fiction. It would still feel weird putting like the actual actresses' names on there and stuff like that. Like it'd have to be the characters. Now, I guess I would say I think I say Natalie Wood because I don't think anyone knows the movie The Great Race, but Miss Dubois is who she plays in that movie. I think that might be my new number one. I think in some respects she was always number one. I just didn't know it. I was just watching the movie again. I'm like, oh yeah, this might be one of my earliest crushes, actually. Yeah, I might someday in the future.
Climmer, thank you for the $5 super chat. You probably get asked this a lot, but what are your thoughts on the new Pope being born in Chicago? Oh, it's the Pope. Let's go.
Well, the way I found out, my friend Farad, he's in LA now, but he used to live in Chicago, and he just texted me, just said, "Da Pope." I'm like, does that mean what I think it means? It's like, oh, it does. Go. Neat. Anytime Chicago, like I said, there's a lot of things I love about Chicago, but yes, there's stuff that's not always great about either, and it's famously corrupted, and that is something where I'm like, okay, I hope he does well, just to show that like that's not all all the Chicago leaders are like that. Well, okay, maybe we had one that went somewhere, something rhymes with ama. I don't know, but yeah, but that's the thing. Whenever we get one, it's like I will say, whenever we get one, it's a really good one.
Yeah, it's a good win for Chicago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it isn't like oh, okay, we got one, and that one's okay. It's like no, we got one, and it's a really good one. So I'm hoping now I'm really hoping he's a good one, actually.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Transformers 1, what do you think of Sentinel Prime? I think he mostly works, but I also feel like he is more of a plot device than a full character, as he mostly exists as the reason for the events that lead to D16 becoming Megatron.
I agree. And I don't know how you fix that because that kind of character's been done a lot. You'd have to do something like Homelander from The Boys. You'd have to make him really complex or crazy. They dabble with it, but you want to put the focus on the main character. So I get it. Yeah, he's fine. I agree. He is a little bit of a plot device, but he has enough character where I didn't mind too much.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, what are some films that you've seen multiple times in theaters? For me, it was Dark Knight for a total of 3 times that summer. Dark Knight is the one I've seen the most in theaters. I feel like I end up seeing a lot of the superhero movies multiple times in theaters, even if they're not my favorite, just because people know I'm into it. So my family wants to go with me and my friends want to go see it, and I'll go see it with Lucas. And before you know it, I've seen the latest Marvel movie 2 or 3 times because people just want to go see it. And I'm like, all right, I'll go with you. I also, for a little while, was my parents' superhero movie translator. My dad would just always sit next to me, be like, okay, wait, who's that guy? How do I know that guy? How should I know? What's going on? What's going on? I don't see superhero movies with them anymore, though, because it got ridiculous.
That's funny.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Ebert, I thought The Prince of Egypt was a beautiful movie. 2 thumbs up. Siskel, I agree. Also 2 thumbs up. Walker, dang right. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Ebert, who let this guy in?
The unseen fan fiction. I guess we were looking at Siskel and Ebert and the Nostalgia Critic. Go on an adventure. I don't know.
Deb the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the Sleepy Hollow TV show starring Nicole Behari? I'm sorry. And if so, what are your thoughts?
I haven't seen all of it. I've only seen a little bit, but what I saw, I loved. I saw the first few episodes, and then at some point, I just couldn't keep up. Just too many things were happening. I couldn't keep watching it. But no, what I saw, I love. That is some fun camp. That is a show that knows what it is. I had a lot of fun with it. The Headless Horseman has a machine gun in the first episode. I'm like, they know how to do this right.
James, thank you for the $10 super chat. I watched Rat Race and, like Surviving Christmas, stopped it early on and not to finish it. I stopped it when the daughter says she has to go and the dad has her do it out the window. That is disgusting.
It is. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, it's funny. The opening and ending of that film, I don't care for. Everything in the middle, I think, is very, very funny. If nothing was make you laugh at that point, though, it's not going to win you over.
Deshaun, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the official poster for the King of the Hill revival, which features the cast now more older?
No, I really want to see that. Hold on, King of the Hill poster. Is this? Oh my god. Looks like fun. I'm excited. I'm digging it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What TV show are you going to watch after you're done with Proud Family?
Well, I just found out. It seems like Andor's wrapped
over.
up.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
was the season or series finale that just dropped yesterday.
So yeah, I have to. I'm gonna watch that. I mean, I'm watching that right now. I'm kind of doing half and half, but yeah. After that, Skeleton Crew. I really want to see.
Oh yeah.
So I'll probably watch that, and then like some sort of other. I don't know, like Jake Long or something like that. Some sort of other show that like kids grew up with, and I know what it is, but I've never seen it. So like something like that.
Clemmer, thank you for the $5 super chat. Speaking of B-movie jokes, must be the honey. No, really, Nelly tried to rebrand the Honey Nut Cheerios bee with a music video and everything. Must be the honey.
That is so lame.
It's so lame.
But it sounds like something B movie would have in it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, what's a good Looney Tunes short for kids to see and a good Looney Tunes short for adults to see?
Well, a lot of times there's the same thing. That's a nice thing about What's Opera Doc, I think, is great because artistically it's very pleasing and has great music and everything, but it's also funny and introduces kids to Wagner. I mean, I didn't know anything about Wagner until I saw that, and yeah, honestly, anything that like usually has classical music in it is usually animated very well, especially the Chuck Jones ones are usually very funny, and it has great music, introduces kids to some of the greatest music ever written. So yeah, any of those are really good.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In The Boys, who do you think gives a better performance, Carl Urban or Anthony Starr?
Is Anthony Starr Homelander?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Homelander.
Yeah, probably Anthony Starr. Carl Urban's great, don't get me wrong, but the Star constantly has to go in front of the camera and just have like a million crazy things going on in his mind, where Carl Urban doesn't have to. Sometimes he does, but like Homelander does, and it shows. But you also believe he can hide enough that people, if they don't want to see it, won't see it, and I think that's very clever.
Nate, thank you for the $10 super chat. Doug, why do you keep bringing back the Sonic 06 hate with Sonic and Elise? Sega sabotaged that game, and the game is a tragedy that it wasn't completed the way it intended.
I think you just answered my question. That's exactly why I bring it up.
Ice Luigi, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you consider A Bug's Life the least forgettable Pixar movie compared to, say, The Good Dinosaur in terms of both story and characters?
I mean, we're just comparing it to Good Dinosaur. Yeah, because Bugs Life had the circus bugs. I thought were pretty funny. And the villain's got his moments. Yeah, we're Good Dinosaur. I'm still struggling to remember a lot of it.
89 Sigma, thank you for the $10 super chat. Mr. Walker, I wanted to tell you something. I believe that Robert Rodriguez took inspiration from filmmaker George Miller, creator of Mad Max, to make children films like the Babe movies.
Wait. Rodriguez took inspiration from George Miller to make the Babe movies, but George Miller made the Babe movies. Are you saying that they each took inspiration? Okay, no,
I think maybe they're
does it?
saying that Rodriguez took inspiration from George Miller
To make kids movies
to make
because
kids'
George Miller
movies.
made the Babe movies. Gotcha.
Correct. I think that's what
Um,
they're trying to say.
gotcha. Could be. It's fine. I could see more of the inspiration from like the Mad Max stuff than I could you know, the Babe stuff. But you know, I don't see too much of Babe and Spy Kids. But that's good. You should see unique stuff. But yeah, no, that's interesting.
Trip Corey, thank you for the $5 super chat, where Malcolm and Tamara soar about having their screen time reduced after negative reaction to the skits. Also, love to see the old versus new of Red Dawn.
Yeah, I haven't seen either, so I probably should get on those. And no, the reason that the sketches have been going down and everything. One is I am getting older. I mean, like I don't have the energy I used to. Two, I do still have the chronic fatigue. There's stuff I'm taking that makes it better, but it does still get in the way. I slept 3 hours before doing this, just out of nowhere. So it does still get in the way, and even just something like Walter was shooting something while we were shooting the last review, and he was, I mean, just so much crazy stuff that he has like going on. This amazing shot. He's using like these dollies and these cranes and stuff like that, just stuff that, him and Jim put together and that they're so cool and everything. He's like, this works really well. You should try it. And I'm just thinking like, yeah, even just planning that shot is too much up here. And it used to be so easy. In fact, it used to be weird not doing that. And now it's like, that's kind of where it is. It's like just setting up a shot like that, because I do get brain fog a lot. So yeah, that is what plays a part in that. But at the same time, I don't like cutting it completely out either, because there are ideas that I'm like, man, this is a funny way of looking at this. I want to utilize this more outside of me just saying something. So I like that I still have a cast that I can expand on an idea or like what people used to see or still see in something. And I'm still thankful that we have a cast to utilize all that. But yeah, it's a mix of age and yeah, that I still got this thing. I still have chronic fatigue.
On a Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Ebert, I thought Hellboy was great. 2 thumbs up. Siskel, I agree. Also, 2 thumbs up. Walker, I give it 3 thumbs down. Why 3? Because I like to go one step beyond. Seriously, thoughts on the Del Toro Hellboy movies, though?
The first one's all right, and then the second one I remember looking spectacular, like one of his best looking movies, and that's saying a lot. I don't remember getting into the story at all. I don't remember liking the editing. I don't remember liking the pacing. I didn't get into what the people were doing. But I still remember, what was it, the Troll Marketplace or whatever. I mean, that's still like one of the coolest places I've ever seen on the big screen. So yeah, take that for what it's worth.
TDI Charlie Brown, thank you for the $5 super chat. Disaster movie, Fan Four Stick, Master of Disguise. How did those movies miss out on your worst movie list?
Again, I was thinking about Master of Disguise, and then I'm like, that fart joke did kind of get a laugh out of me. It went through that whole journey. That's something. Fan Four Stick, I just remember being boring, so that it didn't hurt. It was just aggressively boring. And it was the first one?
Disaster movie.
Disaster. Oh, yeah, I already mentioned that before. It just gave me exactly what I thought it was going to get. Like, ones that are going to make that list, they have to surprise me in their badness. And those movies did.
James, thank you for the $10 super chat. Doug, would you please edit out a couple of poorly aged jokes? First is Doug's first movie where it cuts to Juario from Suburban Nights, and the other is the use of the R word in Jingle All the Way.
And this is a personal thing. I usually don't like to cut them out because it does show that time does change. And it's always going to be changing. And I think I don't know, I'm not saying I'm right about this, but I think it does show that when somebody can use language today that somebody immediately associates with something else, that's not necessarily their intent, and that it does change over time. And I think when people look at that stuff and they're like, oh, like this, I used to look at this in a completely different point of view. Now I look at it a different way. That does show the passage of time, and that comedy changes as well, and story changing and stuff like that. Storytelling changes. I can talk. Well, first of all, if I was to do that, there'd be I'm sure a ton more than that that I would have to edit out. But and then you get into the slippery slope of like, okay, well now what does count? If you edited these, why don't you cut all this? And I don't want to go back and edit out 18 years worth of stuff. So uh, to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I know what you're talking about. I think it's just going to be a different point of view if some people go back and change stuff. It's like, all right, I get it, but yeah, with me, I think it's important to always acknowledge that times do change, people do change, and yeah, that there was a time where, if you kind of want my thoughts on that, Whoopi Goldberg did a really good intro to the Tom and Jerry cartoons, where they kept in stuff that's very offensive, to say the least, and she just has a wonderful way of putting it that explains why these are unaltered, and she says cutting these out is pretending like it didn't happen, and that should not happen. We should always remember this was something that was normal, that we do evolve, we do change, and that this is not correct. This is not the way this should be represented. So I tend to agree. I think it does, and I don't think we've done something quite like that, in the past, but at the same time, I think it does show that there is a history that, history is always there, and it shouldn't, no matter how much we try to cut it out, it's not going to erase it either. And to some extent, it shouldn't be erased, because that's how we learn, that's how we evolve. So that's my very long-winded way of saying probably not.
Prowl, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think you ever review Birdemic? I know it's a bad movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's one of those where everybody's done it. I don't think I'll be able to add anything else to it. I have nothing new. It's gonna be what everybody said.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. In honor of Back to the Future's anniversary, I came up with the perfect comment for the scene of Doc and Marty saying farewell before Doc discovers the future letter. To be continued.
Okay.
The Westinator, thank you for the $10 super chat. You should so review Brazil. It'd be awesome to get a review of your favorite film. 2025's the 40th anniversary of Brazil, and isn't it your 20th anniversary on YouTube? Because that would make it perfect.
No, it's my by that point it might be 19th, something like that. Actually you're right, it is on YouTube, because I started on YouTube, then we got kicked off, then we bounced around, then came back to YouTube. No, somebody brought that up because it is technically a Christmas movie. And what's funny is when we do the Christmas review, sometimes over time they pick up, but again, just a big shock around the holidays. But when they come out, they don't usually do anything that crazy for numbers. So we were kind of like, maybe I should just do my favorite movie, do Brazil, for the anniversary and everything, and do it around Christmas time. The only thing I'm concerned about is that there is so much to say about it. Like, I don't know how, like, I kind of feel like when I did Across the Spider-Verse, that was like training wheels for it, because that was another one I just had to talk so much about. But yeah, it's one where it's like, I'm planning to. I don't want to promise I'm going to, though, because again, it is probably going to be like a really big undertaking. But yeah, I do want to. I think it's not a bad idea to review it at that time.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. So I know you reviewed Mission Impossible 2 for NC, but would you do an NC for all of them as a compilation video like you did for Shrek and Twilight?
Maybe. The only thing is there's so many. And that's another one where I am behind on some of them. I think there's 2 I haven't seen, which, doesn't sound that bad, but they're pretty long. So it's kind of the equivalent of 3 movies. I'll tell you what, I'll wait until the new one comes out, because then at least I'll see all of them, and I'll see if I can do a compilation of all of them in one. But man, that's also like 8 movies, isn't it? So we'll have to see.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. Doc embracing Marty's hug in about 30 years. Michael J. Fox tightens his grip and basically says to everyone, and live long enough to see 40 more years.
Aw. It's kind of nice. I like that.
Yeah. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Will you do a Disney subber on American Dragon Jake Long?
I was just talking about that. If not this year, next year. That is one of those shows that, again, if you show me a clip of it, I know what it is. But I've never seen the whole. I don't know if I've seen a whole episode or anything. But yeah, I hear it's good. Obviously, it has a friend in it with Dante, so I'd love to check out anything he's in. And yeah, if not this year, it'll be the following year.
James, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 1 of 3. Unpopular opinion, but I prefer the first Rescuers film over Down Under. While the latter
Really?
has better animation and music, I like the more mystery element in the former and the eeriness. To be continued.
I can kind of see the eeriness. I see what you're talking about with that.
Adriana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Randy Marsh from South Park? I thought he was funny for a good while, but season 20 onward, he became a character I couldn't stand.
I don't think I've seen it since season 20 on. And I feel bad because the show wasn't bad. Again, just stuff caught up. I just couldn't keep up with it. And just hearing what you're saying there is funny because I do like that character. I can easily see how he would get too annoyed because he's always like the extremist. Whatever's going on, he's always the first one to panic and go crazy and throw all his chips into whatever the commentary of the episode is. So, yeah, even though I haven't seen it, I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Star versus the Forces of Evil, what do you think of Star's mother, Queen Moon?
I remember liking her. I remember being like a great character or anything, but there's a good checkered past there where you question like, okay, was what she was doing right or wrong. And yeah, I remember being done okay.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. So, trying to find something to give me a similar feel to Owl House and Amphibia, do you recommend Star vs. Evil or Steven Universe?
You mean like, do I recommend either of them, or which one do I recommend?
I think which one would you recommend?
Okay, I mean they're both good, but okay, like Star vs. Evil is good. Steven Universe is fantastic. But it does take, if you've already seen like some of these other shows like Adventure Time and stuff like that, they kind of take a while to get going. They kind of look like they're just nonsense shows, goofy, haha, and then they slowly work in the dramatic stuff. So keep that in mind. But yes, that's one of those shows. I always say this every single time someone brings it up. I can guarantee you they're going to be studying that show years from now. Like they're going to be teaching this show in classes. Like it is really that good. So yeah, that would be the one I would check out. But if you want something shorter, yeah, Star is probably shorter.
Too bad Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Which performance do you prefer, Jack Black as Bowser or Jim Carrey as Eggman?
Jack Black is Bowser. Carrey got funny in the second one, and he's a little hit and miss in the third one, but it was fine. Where Jack Black, I mean, he only has one movie with Bowser, and it's like I thought he did great in it, so it's like just mathematically, I gotta say him.
James, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 3. There is more of a personalness to the first and takes its time. Both are the same length, but the mice don't even find Cody until near the end while you see them talk with Penny and help her. To be continued.
All right.
Truth, Hope, Love, thank you for the $2 super chat. James, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 3 of 3. Plus the subplots in Down Under with Wilbur in the hospital and Bernard continually attempting to propose really bog it down, and Wilbur is so annoying.
Oh, see, I exact opposite. I actually did like the proposing thing. Surprisingly, I usually don't like that stuff, but I believe their chemistry, so I like that. And I'm a huge John Candy fan. I thought he added so much to the likability of that character. Yeah, I'm total opposite on that. I know what you're talking about with like the first one being a little bit more quiet, having more atmosphere. It's not like it always has to entertain you with something. And there is a part of me that kind of respects that, but yeah, it's just kind of dull and boring to me and even kind of annoying. I didn't care for the kid that much either. So, but that's just a personal thing.
Nate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Gary Oldman is my second favorite actor. Do you think he's better when he plays a good guy or the villain?
I mean, so bad guys are usually more fun, but then when you get a good guy who's really done well, that is not the okay, especially one that's not always that interesting. Like Gordon in the Dark Knight movies, it's written almost a little too straight laced, but he really does bring this believability to him, where it's like, yeah, man, this is a guy that just feels like pushed to the edge and just trying to hang on. And again, that can be played in such a simple, cheesy way or very obvious way. But the way he plays is very believable. So yeah, maybe I would say the good guys actually. Because again, he can add when he does a villain, it's great, but it's stuff that's like, okay, I know these beats. I've seen these in other villains where when he plays a good guy, he does bring something a little unique to him, the more I think about it.
Truth, Hope, Love, thank you for the $5 super chat. Speaking of Spy Kids, possibility of reviewing the second film or even the Frankie Muniz movie, Agent Cody Banks.
I have Cody Banks on the list. I've never seen it. I'm sure it has a following now, so I probably will. But yeah, the second film I'll get to at some point. I want to see it again because so many people in the comments were saying, "Oh yeah, man, the second one's better. Second one's better," and I just always remember it not being as good, like not being awful, but not being as good. Uh, so I really want to see if I'm wrong about that. I want to watch it again. It's like, yeah, maybe I was just in the wrong headspace or something.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which final battle do you like more? Anne versus Andreas and Amphibia, or Luce versus Belos and Owl House?
Anne and Andrea. Yeah, or Andros. I forget how you say his name. But yeah, because there were different climaxes going on. There was a surprise climax there, which I liked. And by the time, even though I like Owl House, by the time it got around to that, I really didn't care for Belos as a villain. And then it just does all the stuff you've seen done a million times in a show like that. It's like, oh, that character's dead. Sure they are. Oh, they're crying because the character's dead. Yeah. Can we just get to the what? The big surprise? Like I've just seen it done to death. It's still done well, but I've just seen it done to death. So yeah, I do like the one in Amphibia a little more. I thought they played with those tropes in a little bit more of a clever way.
Tony, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who's your favorite Doug, both fictional and real life?
I guess I'll say Douglas Adams is my favorite Doug because I like his play. I like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Favorite fiction. What's his name? I'm forgetting the guy's name, but Matt Berry plays him in IT Crowd, the boss. I always hear Douglas. And Matt Berry just cracks me up. So I'll say him, the boss from IT Crowd.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, I gotta know, which Oscar-winning role do you enjoy more? Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive or Joe Pesci in Goodfellas?
It's close, but probably Tommy Lee Jones. Pesci's great, obviously. It is one of those things where it's like I'm not saying at all he wasn't throwing his all into that or anything like that. I mean, he clearly was. But it's something where it's like, okay, he can play this part pretty easily, kind of thing. Just play it a little louder than usual. And there's layers of the character. He's very interesting, but you've seen that kind of character from him before. Where with Tommy Lee Jones, yeah, you've seen a similar kind of character from him, but you could just tell he's bringing a little extra to that performance than maybe most actors would to that role. And again, I feel like that could so easily be a boring, just cop chasing, fugitive story. And he just made that character so interesting without being too obvious. He was both obvious and not very obvious at the same time. Like, he'd have his whole southern ways of talking and everything. But then, like, you see him just kind of give a look or raise an eyebrow or something. I feel that just said so much in every scene. Just the little turns, the little looks he had. I don't know. It was just going like 1,000,000%.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. $1 billion idea. To promote the upcoming release of Toy Story 5, Disney could partner with Chuck E. Cheese and turn every location into a pizza planet.
Kind of cool idea. I haven't been at Chuck E. Cheese for a while. I saw some sort of video that had like whatever Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, which I think there's only one now. Because at the one I saw, it's like he's got the purple shirt and everything, and it moves better than the old ones. But like, yeah, it's only one talking. So I guess you wouldn't have to do much in terms of the animatronics because that was always the big thing with Chuck E. Cheese. I doubt they'd be able to, especially given Disney's past few years financially. I don't know if they'd be able to do it, but it's a cool idea. It's a very cool idea.
Just some guy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, last week I was the guy who sent my chat too early. Well, I had a heart attack on Friday. Rewatching Kick-Assia, Suburban Nights, and To Boldly Flee on YouTube got me through my weekend.
Glad you're okay.
Yeah, right?
Wow, okay. Yeah, glad you're still with us. Holy smokes. Usually people watch those movies and then they get the heart attacks. I'm glad it's the other way around. No, I really am happy that you're okay. Yeah, wow. Just please recover best you can.
Random Dan, thank you for the €5 super chat. Don't know if it's been mentioned, but what's your thoughts on Sinners? Genuinely fell in love with the soundtrack, needs to be experienced in theaters.
Well, I'm going to tomorrow.
Yay!
Enough people have been pestering me, and they're probably right. I just know they're right.
Yeah.
And I had a chance to see it early too. That's what's so funny. I got an advanced screening. I'm like, I don't know if anyone's gonna care about this movie. I'll just stream it when it comes out. It's like one of the biggest hits of the year. So yeah, or one of the most unique hits, I should say, of the year. Yeah, no, I'm gonna see it tomorrow. I'll have a review for you, so you'll see that.
Dave, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you ever listen to the radio drama Adventures in Odyssey growing up?
No, I don't even think I've heard of it. I'll have to check it out.
Mac, thank you for the 500 bits. Hello, I hope you both had a great day. Doug, would you consider taking a look at A Monster in Paris? It's an animated movie directed by the guy who did Road to El Dorado and Shark Tale. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, why does that sound familiar? Monster in Paris. I feel like I can see the yeah, like I've seen this poster. I've never seen the movie though. Looks kind of funky. I'll try to check it out. Looks neat.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which James Bond antagonist do you think is better? Mads Mikkelsen from Casino Royale or Javier Bardem from Skyfall?
I'm trying to think. Because one of them I didn't see. No, I did see Skyfall. Yes, I was. It's either that or Spectre. I didn't see. Spectre. I didn't see. Probably Javier Bardem. I'm just a big Javier Bardem fan, but I do remember Mads being pretty good as the baddie in Casino Royale.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite scene from The Fox's Robin Hood?
The Fox's Robin Hood.
Yeah.
You said it. Oh man. There's so many great moments. It's a really fun movie. Probably anything with Prince John and his. I mean, just all their scenes collectively are so great. I do really like the climax too. Just like I love the quiet build up, and then when finally, the action gets going, just everything is thrown at the main character. I mean, it literally keeps building, keeps getting higher and higher. The fire's building and everything, and just you really feel like the adrenaline there, just like your heart going faster and faster. It's like the higher he goes up, the more danger there is. And yeah, I just thought all that was really, really good.
Dragon's Toy, thank you for the 500 bits. The Pope has a chance, one chance to do this right. He needs to open with a blessing with, "We're on a mission from God." Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that meme.
Somebody must have done that.
Yeah,
I was guess that's
that
way too good. But would still be funny.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Will, thank you for the 500 bits. To Doug and Heather, there are pieces of media that is hard to find, lost you would say, but despite that, they are well known enough to be sought after by most people. I think this is a part 2, because
okay,
I think there's a part 2 that has a question.
Okay, just in case not, yeah, I've seen sometimes these little videos of like lost media and stuff like that, and once in a while it is neat when you see some. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that on Disney Channel. Okay.
Will, thank you for the 500 bits. Some people see specific ones as a holy grail of sorts. So, now question. What is your lost media holy grail?
It's so funny because I don't even know it's lost media. It's just something I couldn't find. It was just a commercial. I remember growing up. It was a McDonald's commercial where he drives like a potato through this McDonald's logo. It comes out the end as fries. I just always remember that in my head. It's like one of my earliest memories of watching anything on a TV. But how do you type that in? Exact McDonald's commercial, potato to fry. Like there's a ton of commercials like that. Finally, I discovered it. I'm like, yeah, oh my God. And in that moment, it was amazing. Now it sounds pretty pathetic. But in that moment, it was amazing.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Indiana Jones secondary antagonist do you like more? Toth from Raiders or Vogel from Last Crusade?
I'm trying to remember.
Toth?
Is that the ball? Oh, no. Or wait, hold on. How do you spell Toth?
Toht?
I bet that's the, yeah, okay, it's the, that guy with the glasses. It's the Gestapo guy. That's really probably him, just because he's got a little bit of the creep factor, and but the other guy just has the crazy eyes going on the whole time. It's very, very close. But yeah, I think I will say the dude from Raiders.
Sean49 Doctor, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, as a fellow Tom and Jerry fan, I have to say, don't judge. I actually really like, I actually like the Gene Dick. I don't know how to say this name. Dick Deitch. How do you say that last name?
Deitc.
The shorts by that person, Gene. I don't know.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yes,
they are certainly unique considering the lack of familiarity with the source material. I have the DVD, which includes a documentary describing how the series came about. The barbecue and the Moby Dick parody are my favorites. How about you?
I did see there was a DVD. I think it was maybe even a Blu-ray, which is weird thinking those are on Blu-ray because they're so cheaply done. But I think I would enjoy watching the making of them more than the actual cartoons. But I will say I've only seen a handful. Just the handful I saw, I just so didn't care for. But maybe there are some good ones out there, and I just haven't seen them. But yeah, I actually would be interested in the making of just like how do they go about it. I'm assuming they didn't have much money, so how do they work with that? Yeah, like that I would be kind of interested in.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Is your favorite scene in Jungle Book still the scene with the girl with the jug, or has it changed in time?
Uh, the Shere Khan scenes are really good. I actually do like the opening bit just with the wolves talking about what they're gonna do. That really felt like the original book. Moments like that. But yeah, I don't know. Probably still the ending because again, even though there's technically a song, there's so little dialogue and so little needs to be explained, and it's such a cute, charming moment. Again, that melody is so good and so it's really too good for that moment because it's such a haunting melody. It should be for a haunting scene, but yeah, that's probably it. But I say any of the Shere Khan scenes would be a close second.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on Dogma? It turns 25 this year. Possible NC review. Alan Rickman's performance is borderline troll-worthy hilarious.
I was thinking about it. It is one of those where I'm like, well, am I waving the red cape in front of the bowl with that? Because I mean, that movie's straight up talking about religion, and I feel like I'd have to with that. There's a lot of stuff I like about it. There's a lot of stuff that's really stupid. And you could argue some of it's weird. Some of the stuff is supposed to be stupid, I thought was actually kind of smart. Some of the stuff supposed to be smart, I thought was kind of stupid, if that makes sense. And then some switch around. It's exactly what it should be. I don't know. I gotta think about it because there is stuff to talk about. It is an interesting film to talk about. Even when it came out, there's a lot of backlash about it before the film even came out. So it would be interesting, but I don't know because, like I said, it might be a few red flags in there to bring in. I'm not afraid of my fan base. This would be other people coming in who have a problem with it, but you never know. We'll see.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Breaking Bad, what do you think of Mike's death scene?
Well, spoiler, Michael dies. But how do I put it? It's good, but I hate it. I hate it because I don't like Walter White, and I know I'm not supposed to like him. So it does everything it's supposed to do, but I hate that because I like Michael. And it just seems so many things around Walter White just seem so meaningless, and I know that's the idea, but it pisses me off.
Strider for Life, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the Spider-Man Noir trailer? Nicolas Cage is reprising his role as the character. I'm excited for it.
Yes, he is reprising his role. The trailer is not out. What you've seen is not real. I am astonished how many people are falling for that.
Yeah, so someone even on my personal stream this afternoon was like, oh no, it's real. I was like, the one I saw was fake, and they're like, no, it's real. And I Googled it then. I was on YouTube looking for it, and I didn't see anything official. I saw some people reacting to leaked set photos, but I didn't see like an official trailer.
I think the reason people blame, because whoever released it on a ton of different channels, which is very smart. But there is not a Prime one that was released. Anytime I get it says right at the beginning, Prime, and I'm like, well, okay, there's a part of me that's like, well, we gotta watch the trailer. I want to watch it from the actual source.
Right.
And I kept looking, I just couldn't find it from Prime, and finally I just watched one, and I thought it was a fan film. I was actually kind of shocked that it was when you know it, it's pretty obvious. But I kind of thought with the blurry effects and everything, oh, okay, fan-made trailer, kind of thing. But yeah, it's not real. There is one being made, but that what you've seen the trailer is not real.
Movie Lover, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, if you're looking for a future Nostalgia Ween intro, might I suggest Stranger Things? I know it hasn't been out for a decade yet, but I feel it fits with the theme of nostalgia and it's horror oriented.
Yeah, but the only reason to do would be to get a version of the NC theme in that style, which would be cool, don't get me wrong. But visually there wouldn't be too much else to do. Unless we do something like, I don't know, like put maybe clips from the Nostalgia Ween from the letters, something like that. That's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. We'll see.
The Mass Nerd, thank you for the $5 super chat. Your comment on the bee puns is buzzing right now. I never thought it would be that popular.
Be that popular, yeah. They just honestly, all things considered. No, you know what? I'm not gonna attempt it. Still got a half hour left. Yeah. Dang, bee puns. Ooh, too many.
Yep. I just, from my soundboard, did a womp, 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 womp. Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, you should do top 10/11 movies so bad they're good.
Man, that'd be rough. Because there's so many good ones. And that really is one where it's like, it's just so subjective. I mean, I'm one of the few people that I thought Eternals was hilarious. And I'm like the only guy on planet Earth. So there are some where I don't know. Even though I love them, I love talking about them, I don't know if I'm the one to do that list, actually. I think you would need to find some, either a person or a group that would better encompass what like the majority of people see as like so bad it's good. Because yeah, mine I think are a little too specific.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, I know you've not seen the full finishing of Inuyasha, but have you looked at pictures of Shishomaru's daughters? I haven't like sought them out, but just like, I've seen them posted places every now and then, but I haven't like sought it out, Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather and Vox Machina, what do you think of Percy's sister Cassandra? She's all right. I don't know. Like, she's just kind of there. I mean, it's nice for him to have family and to have that dynamic with her, but I don't know. She's all right. I wish she had, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, she has agency outside of Percy, but in my mind doesn't do much outside of that and exist outside of that. She's all right. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. There were 20 changes done to American Tail on the DVD release, and the original versions have been abandoned.
Wait, 20 change? Like deleted scenes or like scenes added in? I wonder
changes? What... I don't know if they mean scenes. Maybe like recolorings or moving of certain object. I don't know.
Yeah, that can be a lot of things. I'll try to look it up, see what that's about, because I like that movie. I like knowing anything about it.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. This question is for both of you since we just had Mother's Day. Who are your favorite fictional mothers, aside from Mrs. Brisby? Mine would be Hannah from Tokyo Godfathers, Hannah from Wolf Children, and Linda from Bob's Burgers.
Dang it. You took like a lot of what I was going to say Wolf Children. I really like that character.
Yeah, and I also said Hannah, like the most Midwest person ever. Hannah.
Hannah. I'm trying to look around, trying to see if there's any characters like, because a lot of my favorite characters I have on the wall here. I'm trying to see if there's any. I don't know. You took all the good ones. Yeah, I look at that just like fictional.
Chat is suggesting Helen Parr, Della Duck.
Yeah, Helen Parr is not bad. Della's not bad. Oh, Peg Pete's actually pretty fun. Oh, actually, it reminds me of Jill Taylor from Home Improvement. I think is a really cool character. Yeah, those are good. I think those are good.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. What are your thoughts on Todd from BoJack Horseman? You seem to love the other main leads, but I never hear your thoughts on Todd. Personally, I find him very easy to like, and I love his coming out story. I even cosplayed as him for my first convention.
Todd is Aaron Paul, right? Hold on, let's see. BoJack.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry, all the phlegm got built up. I like it. He's a good character. I like characters that you can tell are not meant to be something at first, and then they kind of grow into something. Like they're kind of meant to be more as a joke, and then they decide to build upon him, and it kind of just happens very organically. And I feel like that's what happened with that character. Um, but I'm not gonna pretend like if it's a Todd episode, I'm excited. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
something about Bojack or Diana or something. Like, those are the episodes I'm more interested in. But no, he's a good character. He's it's well done.
Dave, thank you for the $5 super chat. Eyes Wide Shut has Tom Cruise hurting his marriage with cult involvement. What a stretch.
No, I don't know anything about the personal life, but I did always say it's funny that their first movie was it Days of Thunder? Is about a couple coming together, and their last movie is Eyes Wide Shut about a couple growing further apart.
KJK, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, since you enjoyed the Fallout show, if you ever want to try the games, I highly recommend Fallout New Vegas. Not only do many fans consider it the best game, but it seems like it's going to tie into season 2.
We talked about doing Fallout
Mm-hmm.
before, but there was something about like just how massive it was,
It's
or
a
something
big
like
open
that.
game, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
big open world.
and but I would like to play because I like the show, and I should play a Fallout game. That's a pretty famous game. Hell, just learning about video game history, I think it's a good thing to play. So maybe one of these days.
Brady, thank you for the $5 super chat. I have never seen the show, so I don't know the melody, but I think it's from Always Sunny. You gotta pay the troll toll to get into this boy's hole. You gotta pay the troll toll to get in.
I mean, Heather, you really got to see the class. You say you're a musical now. You really should know. It's an episode where they do a big musical that's where
It's
the
Dayman,
songs
right?
actually. Yeah. Oh, okay, maybe you do know.
I knew it enough to be like, I know this is from somewhere, and then I Googled really fast because I was like, what's the troll toll? Like, Always Sunny.
Yeah. No, it's funny because the songs are actually, and they performed it live once. The cast with it. It was so funny.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather and Wild Robot, which of the 3 leads do you think gives the best performance? Lupita Nyong'o as Roz, Pedro Pascal as Fink, or Kit Connor as Bright Bill? Oh man, as much as I want to say Lupita Nyong'o, I think Pedro Pascal. I love him, and I think he gives that character that starts one dimension a lot of layers. So I'm gonna go with Pedro Pascal.
And I actually will say Laputa. I can never say her name. How do you say the last one?
I think it's Nyong'o.
And Yango. Yeah, I actually do. And you're right. They're both really good. Exactly what you said, sort of taking one thing and evolving it to say, I love hearing how her voice, it has kind of a chipper voice. And then just as it gets more emotion, you will get, it's still sounding kind of chipper, but now it's kind of upset. Like just the way she balanced that was so well done.
Talons of Water, thank you for the $10 super chat. The idea of Kubrick casting Steve Martin doesn't surprise me. Dude had White Men Can't Jump as on his favorite movies list. Kubrick was a possible sad, strange little man, and with even stranger tastes.
Oh, there's no possible about it. He was very much. I that is one of those directors where I like the movie so much. I do like watching movies about him and everything. And that is another one of those people where it's like, God, I love these films. I don't know if I'd be able to stand him as a human being. Everyone that's not like, there's people that definitely love him and say, wonderful things about him too. But there are people that like, you could just see how like the workers and the people, right, his assistants and everything, they're just like, woof, this guy is a lot.
Ultimate Frozen fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug said it best about 2D versus real life in Cat in the Hat NC. In drawings, you can get away with it, but IRL looks scary. That's the L&S CGI aliens for me.
I mean, it's certainly looking at a part of me goes, what a weird choice to not change them at all, to keep them exactly as like Stitch. I can kind of see because that's already a pretty great design. But I mean, in live action, you got to know those things are gonna be unappealing to look at. So why not change it? If you're doing a remake anyway, that's why you do it. You do it to change stuff up because if not, why just leave it alone. So we'll see. I mean, I still haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I don't know.
Ugly Barn, thank you for the $5 super chat. How come the camera quality dark on recent NC reviews? The screen looks dark and blue.
So we got a new camera, and it's weird because all the settings are exactly the same as the previous camera, but something's off, and I'm trying to figure out what. It's not quite as clear either, but everything I'm looking at, they all match up Perfect. So I'm gonna do some more research on it, see if I can figure out what it is. But in terms of like kind of like a blue background, that's just always kind of the color I liked when shooting the NCs and just playing with the arrangements of the filters and everything. That's what it equals out to. So yeah, but the wall's actually white, and at the last place it was gray. But again, you just kind of play with the filters, it becomes blue. So yeah, long story short on that.
Evoker to the face, thank you for the $10 super chat. Doug, I know you hate the liar reveal trope. Has there ever been an instance where it worked for you?
Actually, lots of times, believe it or not. And they're usually ones that don't focus too much on it or they add something kind of new. You can say How You Train Your Dragon is that. I think they did it well. The last Madagascar movie surprisingly did it pretty well. And that had 2 movies to build up to that. So that was very cleverly done. Um, no, I was going to say the Disney movie I'm reviewing now, I thought had it, but actually I don't think does.
Okay.
But yeah, so they are out there. I think they just have to treat it in a way where it's not like we're the first ones doing it. Guys, they're gonna find out that guy's not an architect. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let that sink in. Like, stop doing that. If you're gonna use it as a trope, fine, I get it. It's fun to see somebody pretend to be something else, but just have fun. Don't act like we're idiots and we've never seen this before and you're doing this amazing drama.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And the boys, what do you think of Homelander's father, Soldier Boy?
um, I mean, I guess about as messed up as you would have about as messed up, but also as simple, like kind of a simpleton at the same time. There's some things about him that are very complex, and there are things that are just so dumb, and that does feel right. So, yeah, I think it adds up. Oh, also, kind of a spoiler.
Right. Eccentric gentleman, thank you for the £10 super chat. I suggested V for Vendetta for NC because life imitated art, remember? I made a video about that. First time watching vid, but please know the mask reference, he scares me.
Yeah, so that is the only reason, one of many actually, that I haven't talked about that movie yet is because it has had a big impact. Clearly, I don't know if I follow all the impacts it has because that does involve a lot of online culture and not just troll culture, but also like what that end up being the mask for? I forget.
Anonymous.
But anonymous, yes, the
Mhm.
big group, and it's like I kind of follow that, but I kind of don't. So I feel like if I'm gonna talk about it, I should really, really know what I'm talking about, and I don't always have a ton of time to do research. So we'll see. But I can still talk about it just as a movie in general, obviously. But yeah, I feel like you can't really too much without connecting it to stuff that happens in real life.
Catabolic, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's up, Doug? Just watched your revised worst movie list. How did Master of Disguise not make it? That movie was worse than Battle of Stalingrad. Stalingrad, sorry.
um, Again, I was kind of thinking like the impressions aren't bad, and the fart joke kind of made me laugh a little bit. And like I said, it went through that little journey that I said it went on. But it is still awful. It's a terrible, terrible movie. But and again, visually, sometimes it looks okay. But yeah, I don't know. It still gave me pretty much what I thought I was going to get with the movie. Like a bad movie to get on the worst list has to like surprise me in its awfulness.
Eccentric gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you weren't crazy about season 3 of The Boys, but do you have plans to watch season 4? It's really good and has a great episode where Homelander visits the lab he grew up in. Anthony Starr usual gives an amazing performance.
I will at some point. I just don't know when. I have the same problem everybody has who hasn't seen it. It's like, yeah, I got enough of this in real life, like, and the commentary was getting a little too direct. It sounds like it's getting more and more direct, but I haven't heard anyone say it's a bad season. I just hear it's so direct. You kind of go, why are they even doing commentary? Why don't they just say, we don't like this person. We don't like this person because of this, like, what's the point? But I do hear when it's just doing the thing about following, the heroes and the main characters and stuff like that. That is still good. So I should still check it out. I just don't know when I'm gonna get around to. I haven't even seen like any of the seasons of Invincible past season 1. That's another one I gotta check out.
Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Baby Geniuses was on your old worst movies. How come it wasn't on your current list? It is so bad.
It is so bad. If there's a top 20, it'd probably be on there. Yeah, but again, that was like the first 4 years doing this job, and I've had several more over a decade after that. So yeah, just stuff's gonna change.
Magic Window, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you were put in charge of Disney right now, what would you do?
I go to Disneyland. Um, yeah, I don't know. I because they have like Imagineers there and stuff like that. I would kind of I'd invite them in and be like, just tell me some ideas. It's something new, nothing that exists. Just go. Tell me. Even if it's just a new technology, tell me. Just throw stuff at me. We really got to start from scratch again with this because they have amazing minds there, amazing designers, amazing Imagineers, amazing technical people, and everything. And I know they are utilized on these other films too, but just the overall core of the idea of these remakes and relying on other IP, just starts to get it limits the creativity more and more. So yeah, I would just say just really try some ideas that start to switch it around instead of having most of it be based on existing IP and once in a while do something new, do mostly new and once in a while do something existing, that's on existing IP.
Hyper Devil Fangirl Boner, thank you for the 500 bits. According to all known Gosh darn it. According to all known laws of aviation, there's no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to blah, blah, blah. You get the joke. Anyway, on to my very important question. Which of these pronunciations is your preference? Tomato or tomato?
Oh, I try tomato. There, that. I was like, I did just not think about it. Just say the word tomato. Yeah, that's what I say.
Hyper Devil, thank you for the 500 bits. Okay. Now for my real question. What are your thoughts on the Penguins of Madagascar movie if you've seen it? I've seen it a couple of times. It's an okay flick. I will say I did like the running joke about the names of the villains' henchmen. Nicholas, Cage them. William, hurt them. Hugh, Jack, man the battle stations.
I started it and I never finished it. I just remember starting and being like, this is kind of boring. And I just stopped. So I probably should sit down and watch the whole thing because I do remember liking those characters in the movies. But yeah, just the film itself wasn't grabbing me. But I should sit through the whole thing.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. How do you become a Twitch affiliate? And was it hard for either of you when you first started? They have a bunch of benchmarks. You need 50 followers. You need to stream a certain amount of days in a certain amount of time. And the big one is you need 3 concurrent viewers for like a month or so or something like that. I don't remember. It might change soon. They're talking soon about giving everyone monetization straight out of the gate. So honestly, you should be able to easily find that information on Twitch's website under Twitch support. So check that out.
There you
go. Pudgy, thank you for the $5 super chat. What god-awful movie is a guilty pleasure of yours? Mine is Grease too.
I guess for a lot of people, I'd probably have to say Morbius because I actually thought that movie was pretty fun. But I'm trying to think of one that's like, oh, just awful, terrible, but I legit get a good laugh at. Man, I don't know. I'm thinking like one of the Stephen King ones. I feel like maybe Maximum Overdrive or Sleepwalker or something like that. Though again, you could argue those are intentionally bad. I'm not sure. Maximum Overdrive definitely is, but I'll say those for now. I'm sure there's others, but yeah, those are the ones that are coming to mind.
Nate, thank you for the $10 super chat. I've heard the Jurassic Park TV show Camp Cretaceous is a near flawless show. Any thoughts about doing an NC on it? Like Clone Wars, it has a pretty big body count to my understanding.
It would be nice to see one thing after the first Jurassic Park movie that's actually a good follow-up. Maybe, I don't know what I would do it for because I already have to watch shows for like Disney December and everything. I'm assuming that's not a Disney show, but I'll see. If it's not that many episodes, maybe I can. We'll see.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, longtime fan. Have you heard the rumored storyline for the next Shrek? It said his daughter will be a wizard who accidentally transports the gang to our world. Thoughts?
I was going to say modern times, right?
It's isekai time. No.
I don't know. That so rarely works. I will say this. When it does work, I am a sucker for them. I actually do like a lot of people are like, oh, what, Thor is just a fish out of water story. I'm like, yeah, but he's pretty charming. Like that's, I actually got into that okay. but yeah, it's done way too much. And man, when it doesn't work, it's bad. We'll see. Again, it is rumors, so we'll see.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Steven Universe, how would you rank the four main characters, Steven, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl? Also, it's strongly rumored that it may be announced soon that the show may come back. It would be nice to see it return.
Yeah, but it had such a good ending. I think that that epilogue season especially I thought was just so good. In terms of personal favorite, Garnet's my favorite. I love Garnet. Who'd be next? Maybe it Pearl, then Amethyst, and then Steven. And Steven's still a good character, but yeah, that would just be my ranking.
James, thank you for the $10 super chat. Which Brian Donors 1990? Sorry, my bad. I completely messed that up. Watch Brain Donors 1992, starring John Turturro, produced by the Zucker brothers. It is inspired by the Marx Brothers film Night at the Opera. It made my list of favorite films watched in 2024.
Boy, I remember seeing this poster all the time. When Hats Off Entertainment did a movie on it too. Okay. Yeah, maybe I will. That just sounds pretty interesting. I remember always growing up with that poster in the video store, but I never actually saw the movies. That'll give me an excuse to check it out. Maybe I will.
Magic Window, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created here on earth? Is such an awesome quote, and it being from Spy Kids 2 makes it even better.
You know, the more I'm hearing about this movie, I'm just remembering the camel poop joke and like the picking nose joke. And where are these other moments that I can't remember? Yeah, I guess I should see it again. That is a really good line.
Nate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, which John Candy film do you prefer, Uncle Buck or The Great Outdoors? Me personally, I absolutely love Uncle Buck.
So it's interesting. I watched it again because my wife hadn't seen it, and she's like, "Well, I just assumed it was bad because you always said all these bad things about it." I'm like, "Well, but you should see it. Like everybody's seen Uncle Buck." So I put it on again, and I realized it wasn't the movie as much. Just one character, the daughter, is just so unlikable. And I know that's the idea. Like, she's supposed to be the rambunctious teen, and it's supposed to have this harsh bite to it and everything. But we're watching this movie, and we were just both agreeing, like, man, we would just totally love this if it just wasn't for that pain in the ass daughter. I just feel like they did not do a good enough job being sympathetic to her. You know, you get it at the end. And again, you could argue, yes, you need that harshness there, like a lot of John Hughes movies have. But I just feel like they did not bring us into what was to why I was supposed to like her, I guess, or at least sit through a whole movie with her. But everything else is very, very good. And the stuff that's good in there is probably better than Great Outdoors, but just as a balanced movie, Great Outdoors is a little better. But when the moments are good in Uncle Buck, they are 10 times better than anything in Great Outdoors. Hopefully that helps answer that.
Tom, thank you for the $20 super chat. Did you know Spy Kids and Shrek entered the Library of Congress's National Film Registry? It is now a culturally significant as the original Dracula, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Saving Private Ryan, and Citizen Kane.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Shrek, to some extent, I understand more. Like, it's not my personal favorite, but I get the lesson's very good. And you could argue it did change a lot of things in animation. Even though I like Spy Kids, that is weird. I saw that in all the comments. I'm like, what? No, that can't be real. And it is. Odd, especially for all the films that Rodriguez has done. That's the one you're gonna put in. Sin City is right there, man. So yeah, I find that bizarre, but yeah, it's fine. It's a cute movie, but yeah, what a weird choice.
Brady, thank you for the $5 super chat. Went to a Renaissance fair over the weekend, bought a pirate flag. Now I just need a boat.
It's called a ship, sir.
Dr. Dre Light, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, big fan. Thanks for keeping me entertained during my kidney transplant. Couldn't have done it without you and the CA crew.
Oh, I'm glad you're okay. Boy, everyone, please stay physically safe.
I know, right?
We have heart attacks and kidney transplant. Holy smokes. Well, you know, actually, maybe they are. They survived them.
Yeah, right?
The more I think about it. Yes, but yeah, no, glad to hear you're doing better.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen The Adventures of Tintin? It's a fun movie, and there's a great scene that sticks with me where Andy Serkis's character gives a speech about how to never let failure defeat you.
I thought I did, but then we said Andy Circus. I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't. Hold on, Adventures of Tintin. I remember. Oh, I was thinking Rin Tin Tin. God, showing my age. Good lord. No, I haven't. That's another one that's on the list. That's another one I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, and Spielberg's involved. Of course he is. Man, he's lost his touch. And everyone says the movie's great. So I really have to give it a chance. I will someday. It's on the list of stuff to see, but haven't got around to it yet.
Be Real, thank you for the $50 super chat. Really
Thank
appreciate that. This is
you.
the first time I've ever done this. I just wanted to thank you for all the laughs and fun vibes you brought with NC episodes. My father and I bond over watching you, and I always smile when he asks, "There a new episode of a Nostalgia Critic?"
Oh,
That's really sweet.
yeah. Oh my God, do I even have the words? Thank you so much. It's so kind of you to say. Just yeah, thank you for watching for so long. God, those stories really mean a lot to us. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah. Also, we are going to have to pick up the pace here.
Gotcha.
Nate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Here's an NC idea for you, Doug. First, an NC on Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars, followed up by Tom and Jerry Go to Mars. Yes, that exists.
Of course it does. I'll look into it. Might be an idea.
Cute Mario Bros. Rebooted. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You should review 8 Mile and Toy Story 2.
Probably not 8 Mile. It's a good movie, but and Toy Story 2 I definitely will do.
Jack, thank you for the £5 super chat. Thoughts on David Tennant? Great actor, great man in my opinion, and is the best Doctor from Doctor Who.
I've never seen him as Doctor Who, so I know it's like his big thing, but I've seen him in a lot of other stuff, and yes, I agree. He's a really, really great actor.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. NC for Oliver and Company. I know it has its fans, but I never see it in anyone's top 5. At best, I hear it's fine, which is my thoughts as well. Cheech Marin was funny, and Bette Midler had some good deliveries.
That's after my introduction to Cheech Marin. Whenever I would see him, I'm like, that's the Chihuahua guy. That's Tito. But yeah, I'm the same. I only think it's okay. I don't know if I have much to review about it.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £5 super chat. The Halloween tree for Nostalgiaween. Follow that bunny in Yogi's Easter next Easter. And did you know the Snowman has a spin-off, a sequel?
I heard about that. I've never seen it. Halloween tree I like to do, but the copyright's really tight on it. Even if you play a small clip, they claim it. So probably not, sadly.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Which comic writer do you like more, Stan Lee or Alan Moore?
Good lord.
Very
pretty
different.
I guess I'll say Alan Moore because I'm a dark bastard.
Yeah. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. If you ever get to watching Friends, I hope you'll like some of the episodes. Some are bad, but some are pretty good.
One of these days, I wouldn't mind getting around to. I don't know when I'm going to find the time because that's always a million episodes.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 super chat. What is considered classic that you don't enjoy? For me, it's been Sound of Music. Just can't do the everything is perfect first 45 minutes.
Is Annie considered a classic? I
I
don't
would
like
think
Annie.
so.
I'll say Annie.
Gosh darn it, Doug. Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Top 3 Mini Driver performances.
Mononoke, definitely. I like her in Good Will Hunting, but there's another obvious one I'm missing. I'd have to look at it. Maybe I can look up while you go to the next question.
Nate, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you hear Snow White actress Rachel Zegler got really offended about South Park's parody of her and allegedly tried to get Disney to cancel South Park in response?
Nope, I haven't seen that. I don't follow a lot of things with her. I don't know. She's a fine actress. Nothing else about her interested me. So I hear stuff, secondhand, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Just crazy celebrities being crazy. It's, unless you like kill somebody or some crazy thing like that, where I'll be like, what? But yeah, I don't know. The personal stuff for her, I don't find that interesting.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I've just been informed that Max is going back to HBO Max.
Yeah, I thought I heard something about that too. Sure. Just get the Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry back on there, right?
Right. 100%. Nate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, when are we finally going to get the long-awaited TMNT Next Mutation review? Can you bring in AVGN and Black Nerd for that one, please?
Oh, sorry. I forgot about that. I'll look into it. I mean, it's nice to have a reminder because I did forget about it. For the other main driver one, I'll say Jane. Because I think Jane's kind of a forgettable character in the Tarzan movies. I thought she made her pretty memorable.
Okay, great. All right, we did do it. We caught up.
All right,
So,
woo!
woohoo, 3 minutes. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Um, Eliza over on Twitch wants to know, will you review Casper, A Spirit Beginning and or Casper Meets Wendy? They're so bad, it's good movie cringe.
I should. The only reason I haven't is because I know I'd have to bring back the animated Casper. And again, I don't have just doing my usual stuff. It's exhausting now. And I'm like, how would I do the animation on that? I don't know. So I'll have to see if I can figure out a clever way around it.
Truth, Hope, Love, thank you for the $2 super chat. You are reviewing Spy Kids 2 since you did 1 and 3 now.
Yeah, at some point. I don't know if it'll be this year, but it'll either be later this year or next year.
Ramirez over on Twitch asks, you always said your mother was strict on PG movies. Did she let you watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
After much convincing, my dad had to go see it with her, and she still didn't want to show it to me, and mostly because of Jessica Rabbit. But my dad was like, he's not looking at anything like that. And to his credit, he was right. It was more the crazy Judge Doom stuff. I was like, ah! But yeah, no, she eventually did. And she also didn't like the swear words in it.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. Strings 2000 for NC. It's both really good and bad.
I don't even think I know that one. I'll try to check it out.
Master Mario over on Twitch asks, I should have read this ahead of time, but now I'm stuck. What do you call a bee who works in politics? A politician.
Ah, okay.
What does B. Michael Buffer say?
Well.
Let's get ready to bumble.
Oh,
Wow. Wow,
God.
chat. Wow. Thank you. Thomas, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, I have always wondered, what are your thoughts on John Carpenter's The Thing? It's my favorite film.
Oh, I love it. And I didn't grow up with it either. I saw it years later. In fact, I think I saw it for the first time maybe 8 years ago, something like that. And I couldn't believe how good it was. I'm like, why did I not watch this sooner? It's some of the best effects I have ever seen in anything. I was really blown away by it. And it's a good movie too, even outside of that.
I misread something. It's 2004 for Strings.
I still haven't seen it.
Frankfurt the Orange says, maybe for next time, try playing War for Cybertron, the first part in Hasbro's aligned continuity.
Unlikely, but I'll look into it.
This will have to be our last one here. Headshot says, have you seen Novocaine?
I remember Oh, wait, no, the new one. That's
Yeah.
right, because there's another movie, the Steve Martin one. No, I hear it's pretty fun. I'll probably stream it when it comes out.
Oh, we got one last super chat that popped in. Nathan, thank you for the $10 super chat. When will you come to or around Denver for a meet and greet? Been a fan since I was 13 and now graying and haven't had a chance to thank you in person for everything that you've done.
For giving you the gray hair, absolutely. No, I mean, if you want us out there to find a convention, say, hey, we want JL Awesome out there, and see if you can get us out there.
Yeah, 100%. All right, everyone, that's going to be the end for us today. Thank you all so much for being here. As usual, we super, super appreciate it. We do have content 5 days a week over on Twitch and 2 days a week over on YouTube. Well, also videos, you know what I mean. we do our normal videos on YouTube. I was trying something new. It didn't work. That's all right. That's fine.
Well, we know what you meant.
Doug will be back on Friday playing more of Resident Evil 2, so make sure that you come back and check out Doug struggling with puzzles and wasting all of his ammo. It's my
There's a lot to go around.
Night. No. Anyway, have a great rest of your evening, everyone. JL, thank you for the 500 bits, and we will see y'all later. Bye.